Hi. Um, so I'm back. And what I was saying was, I reached this point where I had had enough. And I really found that I healed from that. And what I mean by that is mold has not been giving me a problem anymore. Now, it doesn't mean that everything in me is healed, um, but it gave me a good start. And I realized that I had literally been giving my power away. And I had to come back in and take my power back. And this has been a long journey, and it will be continue to be a long journey. I had to go in and look at all the patterns and all the things in my life that I've struggled at or been stuck with or that have traumatized me so that I could clear them, so I could resolve them, so I could see them for what they were, as, gifts to teach me, and get the gift from them rather than look at it and think, poor me, be a victim in it, or allow it to make me angry. I know that when I first moved here, I carried a lot of anger. I had a lot of anger towards my aunt and towards my brother, towards what had been done, to my father, the disrespect, and none of that was really mine. And everything that they've experienced and they've gone through were things that were I was able to learn from. So they were actually gifts for me. Um, it doesn't mean necessarily that I want to be terribly close to them, and I don't have to be. But I completely released any emotion towards them anymore. I don't. I'm not hurting. I'm not struggling. I'm not angry, and that was very freeing. I had to go back and look at all the things in my life that literally have led me to this point. And, for instance, all the accidents I had. Why did I have all these accidents? I had to go back and I had to see that as a little girl, even as an adult, still had this inner child in me that blamed myself for my mother dying, that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't good enough, that I never would amount to enough. My brother used to say things like that to me when I was little. I was fat and ugly, and I was no good with money, and I was no good with this. And, those things really lock into us. And we have to be honest with ourselves to look at them so that we can release them, so that we can see they were just words said to us, or they were just things projected at us from somebody else, and they're not who we truly are. So this has been the healing involves really your spiritual self as well. And I have spiritual practices now that I do very regularly. I'm very deep into meditation, and meditation is different for each person. Some people sit quietly with their eyes closed. Some people ground into the earth. Some people meditate while they walk. It's all different. And I don't think anything is right or wrong. It's whatever feels right for you. So there really isn't any way to do it. I think what you feel in your heart is right. And you allow yourself to be guided. I get intuitive messages sent to me, and I get things that come in, and I just get this information that comes in and comes in, and I get information about animals. I'm an intuitive animal healer as well, because I just know things I just know things. I can't explain it, but they just come and I know them. And I used to try to figure it out, and now I just celebrate it, and I welcome it, and I lean into it. Over a year ago, all of a sudden, words started coming into my head. And this was, I don't think I'd quite finished my book yet. But that was an interesting process, writing the book, because I tried to sit down and write it, give myself certain times to write it, etc. didn't work for me at all. Um, in fact, the whole first draft I had written up, it was good, but it wasn't coming from my soul. I ended up erasing it all and starting over. And what I did was I allowed it streamed in at times. And I would sit sometimes for 5 hours and just write and pour it out. And then sometimes it would be days where I would have nothing. And then it would come again. And that's how I wrote my book. And I was really, really happy with it when I finished because it was really from my heart and my soul. And so a year ago, these words started coming into my head and I started writing poetry. And I've written almost 1,000 poems now in a year, and they literally, they just channel in, and I tap into that, and it's like last night, I felt like, oh, I felt a poem coming, and I didn't even actually have words coming in. I just felt this. It was time to sit down and sort of start playing, and I did, and it just flowed right out, and it's a beautiful experience. So the more we tap into our authenticity and who we truly are and our own power, we have so much magic in ourselves, and we can heal. I use a lot of different things. I've tried a lot of different modalities. I use a product called LifeWave patches, which are really amazing for your health. I use a product called Black Oxygen, which is an amazing detoxer and a mineral replacement supplement, which is absolutely phenomenal. I told you, I literally went from, I always ate really pretty well, especially after I had the surgery from the diverticulitis. I had to cut out, wheat and bread and I ate healthy, but there were still some processed things, some crackers that I ate and things like that. And I have literally cut all of it out. And it's been it's been something that I've literally floated towards. And it's what my body actually has asked me to do. I really listened to it. And I mean, I've lost all the inflammation. I have heaps of energy. I walk at least 10 miles a day. I do an hour exercise program as well with some weights. I'm usually on the go pretty much all day. I intermittent fast all day, and right now I'm actually juice fasting. So I've just completed 30 days, and my goal is 90 or possibly more. We'll see. I'm just going to allow my body to lead me and tell me what it wants and tell me how it feels. And I feel amazing. And the first time I did a juice fast like this, I did a 30 days and I kept waiting for, I'm going to get tired. I'm going to get weak. I'm not going to have much energy. How am I going to keep walking? And it was the exact opposite. The more I went, the longer I went, the more energy I had, the better I felt. It's just an absolutely amazing thing. And this whole idea that we have to get up and eat for fuel, it actually is the opposite. When we eat, it slows us down. So we're actually better off, at least I'll say this for myself. It works so much better to if I'm going to eat anything, if I'm eating, I do it at the end of the day. When I'm finished, I'm relaxed. I sit down and I eat my fruit, my vegetables, and I'm happy. I don't miss the sugar. The sugar just does not work. It doesn't work for mold. It doesn't work for the body. It creates cancer. It creates acidity. And, I'm creating a body that's alkaline, where cancer doesn't even grow. It can't survive. I use a protocol from Bob Beck, which is a magnifying. It's a protocol where you use you raise your magnetic field through a pulsar, actually, on your skin. I drink Kaleido Silver, which I make myself. The Bob Beck machine that I use uh, creates an environment where no virus can exist. I don't get colds. I don't get flus. I don't get sick. You know, but I'm very conscious and very aware of what my body asks me to do. And if I need to rest, I rest. If I need to slow down, I slow down. You know, so healing is a big process, and it comes in layers. You know, you don't ever, you're never finished. You can get to a point, you think, oh, I'm great now. There's always more. There's always more room because there's more to detox. There's more layers to go through, you know. But if you're not doing the emotional healing at the same time as the physical healing, um, you're not doing the whole body. You're not taking care of the whole being that you are, because we're not just a physical being. It's so important to look at all of it. Anyway, I will share more with you again soon. And thank you so much for tuning in.